Right now, there are three invisible forces eating away at your mind. They don't scream, they don't knock. They just enter, quietly. And they feed. One by one, they steal 3 to 5 hours from your day. They make each other stronger. They form a cycle that pulls you into a storm. The ancient Chinese knew about them. 2,000 years ago, they documented their behaviors, their symptoms, and their cures. But in today's world, these forces have grown louder, more cunning, and more widespread. Modern minds are drowning, and they don't even know it.
We'll break each one down, show you how they work together like a three-headed dragon, and give you the antidotes, one for each head. Let's start with the one that's whispering in your head right now, the comparison parasite. There's a story in the Zhuangzi about a man who lived simply by a river, a bamboo cutter. Each day he harvested what he needed, traded bamboo for rice, ate, slept, a quiet life, a content life. One day, a merchant docked his boat nearby. He was dressed in silk, counting gleaming stones, jade, green, glowing, flawless. That night, the bamboo cutter couldn't sleep. Jade kept appearing behind his eyes. The next morning, he cut faster. If he cut more bamboo, he could trade for silver. Save enough silver, maybe one day, he'd own jade too. Suddenly, everything looked different. The merchant's robes, his boat, the respect he received. The virus had entered. It rewired his perception. What once satisfied him now felt like failure. He cut from sunrise past sunset. His hands bled, his back screamed. But he only saw what he lacked. Then came the collapse. He cut so aggressively he destroyed the roots. The grove died. With no bamboo, there was no trade. With no trade, no rice. Surrounded by withered stalks, he starved. And he never held a single real jade. And here's the darkest part. The jade the merchant counted? It was fake. Just painted stones. Open your phone. Scroll through Instagram. Each photo you see? That's painted jade. Each post an injection. You feel a small ache in your chest, a sense of being behind. That's not ambition, that's infection. The virus doesn't make you feel terrible. It makes you feel almost good, almost successful, almost worthy. Just need to cut a little more bamboo. But here's the twist. Your brain wasn't built for this. It was designed to compare itself to a small tribe, maybe 150 people. People you could see, touch, talk to. But now, you compare yourself to 5 billion filtered lives. You're asking a candle to light a stadium. It doesn't fail. It flickers. It burns out. And the burnout doesn't come with a warning. It comes with anxiety, with emptiness, with the sense that you are always behind, even when you're not. So how do you kill it? The antidote comes from an old Taoist practice, the empty boat.
Imagine you're rowing down a quiet river. Another boat slams into yours. Your instinct? Anger. You turn, ready to shout, but the boat is empty. No one inside, just drifting, and just like that, your anger disappears. Why? Because there's no one to blame. Apply that to comparison. That fancy car on your feed. Empty boat. That photo of a happy couple. Empty boat. That millionaire's success story, also drifting by, no one aimed it at you. It's not about you. The moment you see success as an empty boat, something shifts inside you. The pressure eases, the sting fades. You stop measuring yourself against someone else's highlight reel. You stop living someone else's race. The virus can't survive that kind of awareness. You just starved it. Try it now. Think of the last person who made you feel behind. Got their face in your mind? Now picture their success as a boat floating by, not headed toward you, not trying to sink yours, just drifting. That loosening in your chest, that's the virus dying. But here's the trap. This parasite isn't alone. It's just the scout. When you kill it, it sends out a distress signal. And that's when the second virus awakens. If you're not comparing, it whispers, "How will anyone know you're winning?" That's the moment the second head rises. Virus 2, the validation vampire. This one is smarter. It doesn't make you compare, it makes you perform. It doesn't scream, "Look at them." It whispers, "Make them look at you." It pretends to be your ally, tells you your success must be seen, that your story will inspire, that sharing it is a service, but it's a trick. It's not feeding on your victories. It's feeding on your need to be seen winning. It happened to the greatest archer in ancient China, Master Lei. He could shoot a bird in pitch black, guided only by sound. Crowds traveled for days to witness him. He performed under pressure like a god. Stage 1. Performance-boosted skill. The cheers pushed him. The admiration sharpened his form. The virus disguised itself as discipline. Stage 2. He couldn't function without an audience. On quiet mornings, alone in the fields, his arrows missed. He needed to be watched to hit his mark. Stage 3. The city emptied after an earthquake. Alone for the first time in years, he picked up his bow. 50 arrows, 50 misses. The master had vanished. He wasn't an archer anymore. He was an entertainer who used arrows. It took 3 years of lonely practice for him to return, not to fame, but to mastery. Not for applause, but for the joy of perfect aim. Now look at today. David had 500,000 followers, traveled to 80 countries. His life looked like a dream, but standing at the Taj Mahal, his first thought wasn't, "This is beautiful." Then came a moment that woke him up. On Mount Fuji, watching the sunrise, he reached for his phone and froze. He realized, "I've never actually seen a sunrise, only how one looks on a screen." That morning, he deleted Instagram. Over the next year, he revisited all the places he'd been, without the lens, and for the first time, he saw them. In Bali, the rice fields weren't green, they were gold. In Iceland, silence wasn't empty. It had a texture, a pulse. But he'd never heard it while crafting captions. The virus had been doing the seeing, not him. But here's the twist. This vampire doesn't feed on validation received. It feeds on the craving, on the seeking. That hunger is its food. No number of likes will ever be enough. It wants you starving. It wants you desperate. The more you post, the more it feeds. You know the cycle. A post does well, you feel good, for an hour, a day. Then the emuness creeps back in, and the hunt begins again. He had become a machine. He slowed down. Presence returned. His knife didn't just find joints. It found his soul again. Test yourself. Can you sit still for 60 seconds? No phone, no plan, no optimization. If not, the virus is feeding, and it's full. Here's the cure, the 70% rule. Never operate at more than 70% capacity. The virus will scream, "You're wasting potential." But that last 30%, that's where life breathes. That's where you remain human. Now step back. These aren't 3 separate enemies. They're the same dragon with 3 heads. Comparison is its eyes. It distorts how you see. Everything becomes a scoreboard. Validation is its mouth. It changes how you speak. Every word becomes a performance. Productivity is its claws. It alters how you act. Every effort becomes a transaction. But there's a way out. A Taoist master once asked 3 students to bring something valuable. One brought gold, the most valuable in the market. The master replied, "Your eyes see only worth in comparison." Another brought a mirror to reflect the value in all things. The master sighed, "Your words exist only to be seen." The third brought nothing. "Why nothing?" the master asked. She said, "Empty hands can hold, help, and shape. Full hands only cling." And he smiled. Empty hands don't carry viruses. When your hands are full of metrics, validation, and grinding, what can you actually touch? When your mind is full of these 3, what can you truly feel? The dragon feeds on fullness. It starves in emptiness. This isn't about laziness. It's about clearing space, so real joy, deep presence, and honest effort can finally enter. Not comparing, just seeing, not performing, just being, not grasping, just creating. Tonight's practice. Before you sleep, look at your hands. Literally. Notice how empty they are. Notice how powerful they feel. That's your true state. Not overloaded, not performative, not starving, just awake, just clear, just you. And that is enough.